Hi, I'm Pieter Bijl. I'm head of R&D at North Windsurfing. I'm here to give you some tuning cues on the foil. This is the tuning cues only for the Generation 2 foil. The sail is quite different than the Generation 1, so this really only applies to this sail. The tuning cues I'm going to give you are the same for each of the sizes throughout the range, because the shaping concept of the sail is the same. It doesn't matter if you have a 4.5 or an 8.6 or anything in between. The shaping concept on the sail is that we have a relatively deep foot shaping, still some shaping across the cross batten to try and stabilize the foot and to give you a good power platform. And after that the draft really goes forward with quite a lot of negative in the back here to be able to open the leech and to minimize your backhand pressure when you're flying around on the foil. On this sail you see quite a radical drop from the cross batten to the batten above the boom in the leech. Now this is to give you the acceleration. After that this leech is holding up a little bit again, because you want to have a really nice tight leech to prevent any fluttering, and also a little bit of a tighter leech in the midsection helps you to pump the sail onto the foil, while the lower mid leech being really open is preventing you from getting too much pressure on the backhand and being able to control the foil. Basically always the leech is controlled by the downhaul tension, so for the leech opening I would highly recommend one setting. It depends a little bit on your foil setup, but ideally we have quite a bit of drop off right after the boom. It goes a little bit straight at batten, let's say 4 and 3, and then 2 and 1 are quite open again. We are doing this to try and get maximum glide out of the lower part of the sail and to have a nice bending moment from the top part of the sail. If the leech is too tight, it will put too much pressure onto your foil and it will actually push you down. So if that's a feeling that you're having, you might be running too little downhaul. Just add a little bit of tension to the downhaul, open the leech a little bit more until the board starts to trim nicely on the foil, and you can go on maximum attack. For the Outhaul, I highly recommend that you use an adjustable Outhaul system. Our 180 and 195 booms have them installed and internally threaded in the boom. Our 165 at the moment doesn't. You can always buy a kit that you can install on this boom. All the pulleys are there. An adjustable Outhaul is going to give you the opportunity to change the Outhaul on the fly, which especially for a foil sail that needs a bit of power to get onto the foil, but then needs to release some power once you're flying around. An adjustable Outhaul system can really help you with that. To have a general guide on the Outhaul, I always try to get the sail just free of the boom. This means you should be using a north boom on your product, as well as the right size north boom on your sail. So for the 5.5, for example, we're using a 165 boom, which is a little bit narrower, so having the sail just not touching the boom is about your ideal setting. From there you can always add a little bit if you get too much power in the sail, or release a little bit if you're having trouble staying on the foil or if you're having trouble getting on the foil. For the batten tension, it's a relatively standard race sail batten setup, so we want to have maximum tension on the foot batten, maximum tension on the cross batten, the same on the sleeve battens. These sails have separate sleeve battens, so you can tension those right here on this plastic part. So on the sleeve battens, I pretty much just remove the wrinkles before the sail is rigged. After rigging, I quickly check to make sure that the wrinkles are still removed. That's about as much tension as I put on the sleeve battens. And then maximum tension, maximum tension. And here, as on a foil sail, you want to reduce the power. As soon as you're flying, you try to keep this tension relatively minimal. So I would say just removing the creases from the sail is all you need to do. That will ensure that the mid leech will remain opening relatively easily and will give you the optimum performance. And then on the way up, I would say minimal tension on the batten 4-3-2. Then the top batten you can really use to control the top panel. So if you feel that the top panel is slightly too open, you can always add a little bit of tension to the top batten, and it should close the top panel a little bit and give your sail a bit of a cleaner leech and a cleaner release as well. For the air cam on the Generation 2 foil sail, we are reducing the pressure quite significantly from what we have in the past. So we are trying to keep the luff a little bit more skinny, which allows the sail to cut through the wind a little bit more efficiently. So we're just inflating the sail enough until the mast is pushing into the front of the sail. So you can check this by actually touching the front of the sail in the splitter locations and just pressing on the front of the sail or tapping on the front of the sail and making sure the mast is pushed into the front. Obviously, if you increase the pressure, the mast will still be pressed into the front, but we want to try to press the mast into the front of the sail with a minimal amount of pressure needed. So you just press it until you can feel it, and that's it.